Hello guys, let me now show you quickly how this wonderful low-cost app works from beginning to finish. So stay with me. It's called e-financial reporting. Like I said, it's a combination of Visual Basics, macros, and advanced Excel put together to bring to us a module that can help you prepare your financial reports, monitor advances, prepare your bank reconciliation, prepare executive reports, and also get your various other financial documents like the evaluation of goods, reports of advances to both partners and staff, and then your general ledger, and then your trial balance. Let's see how this works. If you get the link, first thing you have to do is to download it. It is safe and virus free. So I'm going to download it now for you to see. Ensure you have a network, and then you click the download button or the download link. Download link now takes you to the web server. At the web server now you click icon download, and then you have the module downloaded into your download file. Then in your download file, you open up your download file. You see the module there, right? So quickly, let me close up this, that is the test module, and open the one I downloaded. This is the one downloaded, titled e-financial reporting, MAVB. So before opening it, I will right click on it and go to property and unblock, because it's a macros file. You unblock it and you see apply. Why are you applying? Because you want subsequent usage of the same file. You don't need to unblock, and then you OK, and then you double click, it opens up, right? So it requires a password because it's a financial document or a finance document. You put in the password, and then when you put in the password, it comes up like this, blank, nothing is inside it. It opens up blank like this. Even if you go to the financial report, you discover that everything is blank. Nothing is inside it, it's empty, right? Everything is blank. Let's see the budget, blank. All right, so go to registration back now. For it to start working, you have to register it. You have to register it with an organization name or an NGO name or a business name. So for you to do that, we've planned out a test, a kind of a pilot situation we will use, and this is it. This organization called Scripture Life organization got a grant from UNDP. We are going to use it as a test to see how this template works, right? So quickly, we go back to the database, the country data. Here we'll see where to put in the name of the organization, Scripture Life, right? Then mainly you put in Scripture Life there. Watch what happens. It appears in here, right? By the time you click it, this welcome to e-financial reporting, please enter business name will disappear, and it brings up this asking you to enter user information because an organization has been registered. It also gives you information, just a little background about the software, the purpose of the software. If I delete this, it goes off. If I bring it back, it comes in. All right, so you now start filling. Where is this organization located? Nigeria. We are assuming. What state? Let's assume it's in Abuja. What's the name of the project? Let's call it UNDP project. UNDP is the funder. Number of activities, let's assume the major activities. In a budget, you have what we call the thematic areas or the investment areas or the major activities. Those major activities may have a breakdown of sub-activities, right? Let's assume, let's go back to our test question. We're told here that there are 4 major activities here, right? So 4. We've not implemented any yet, so let's leave here. They're asking number of activities implemented. Financial year, let's assume it starts from January 1, 2025. And it will close. You see, once we put that, this is now gone off. So yes, that's now informed you about the software. If I remove it, you see it comes back. I'm in this place. We put in the date, it goes off. Then year end will be 31st of December 2025, right? Right? Let me do it again, 31st of December 2025. Okay, that can be worked out. I think it's too long. All right, so continue. Then we have the bank reconciliation date. This date will be the date at which you want to perform your particular bank reconciliation. And this is the date that appears in your report. So if you are preparing bank reconciliation for the month of January, you put 31st of 1, 2024, 2025. Here is your local currency, Nigeria currency. Yes, your banker exchange rate, very important. If you do not include the exchange rate, look at what happens in your budget. The exchange rate will not. So let's leave it for now so that you understand how it works. Banker, when we've created our bank, we'll come in and put in the bank, opening balance of cash book, closing balance of bank statement, then user. Where do you put your user? You go to your database. Here, you see your users here. You can change them. You can add a user. For example, number 5. I can say Semi Sunday, right? Or should I be? Maybe I'm the accountant director. Myself something. If you go back to the registration and you pick the name there to be director. Of course, director is not the one preparing the financial report. And to use this template, it should be the accountant. And then at this point, it should be this Glory Bassi, right? Project accountant. All right. With this now, the next thing we do is to build our chart of accounts. Based on the question here, you see, they gave us chart of accounts. These are the chart of accounts here. These are the chart of accounts. So for the interest of time, already built them inside here. But I will show you how to do that. Here you come in here, you have your chart of account. These are your chart of account, right? Already inserted. Let me explain a few things here. In the chart of account, you have to classify them whether they are debits, credits. All assets are debited, all expenses are debited. Remember that all liabilities are credited, all income are credited. So you do that, you bring in your chart of account here. The interest of time, we've done that already. So after you build your chart of account, you can now go now and build your budget. So here now we've also built the budget. We assume these are the various project costs. How do you build your budget? Simple. Since we have 4 major activities, we just give the activities code. D1 can use E1, you can use any code, but we are to differentiate them properly. D1 is for activity 1, D2 is for activity 2, D3 is for activity 3, D4 is activity 4. If you go back to to the activity breakdown, they say they have 4 major activities, right? These are the 4 major activities. So we go back to our budget, and then we have those 4 major activities, but now we are breaking them down into sub-activities. Under activity 1, we have sub-activity 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Under activity 2, we have sub-activity 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then so on. This is where you put the activity and you put the budgeted amount. Then you come over here, put in the major activities. Is training women on skills acquisition, set up grants for women, purchase of business equipment, administrative costs, and these are their codes. This is how to insert your budget based on the annual work plan. After you've done that, when you've done that, you can now go and bring out the budget proper. Look at what to do. Go to your budget now, and then since you've entered those activities in the database, just bring them up. They will be appearing. Notice that converting them to the reporting currency is telling you to put exchange rate because you've not inserted the appropriate exchange rate. Sorry, that's all right. So we are now going to insert the exchange rate. We to the exchange rate, back to registration, and then we put, let's assume the current exchange rate is 1,600. Then already gotten the bank. If you go to your database and you go to your chart of account, we have a bank here with receipts, debit, cash and bank is First Bank, right? So we can go back to here and say our banker is First Bank. Okay, so we go back to our budget. You see, it's no more asking you of exchange rate. The exchange rate has been entered, it has converted it to dollar. If it's not dollar you are using, let's assume it's another currency. Go back to registration and you choose your currency here. You can choose any other currency you like, right? But for now, for the sake of time, what we are using is the USD. So just type in USD there, and then we go back to our budget. So these are just how to input the budget. You can add in more lines. Here is when we receive disbursement. Want to record the disbursement budget, we are going to record them here. For now, let's just bring in everything we have here, thematic activity, into the area where we record our disbursement. So from the question, we're told we have been paid first tranche of the funds. You know, this is the total budget, 200 million. Advance received is 100 million. Now we go back to the budget and share the 100 million. Let's assume out of the 100 million, we have training women on skill acquisition. We received 50 million, quarter 1. From this, we also receive 50 million. Maybe the grant we receive 80 million. Then on training, we receive 30 million. Then on equipment purchase, we received 100 million. Oh, sorry. All the funds we received were 100 million. So let's be careful. Here should be 40 million. Here should be, let's say, 20 million. We are assuming what we received. Then here, let's assume for equipment, we received another 30 million. Administrative costs and others, we received 10 million. All right, so it comes here, you see feeding in here, it converts it all to dollars, foreign currency. So, but this has not passed through the general ledger, right? These are just memorandum. We've not started doing anything accounting that require preparation of financial statements. These are just budgets and recording funds received in the budget template. Now let's start the financial reporting proper. So to do the financial reporting proper, now we are going to start receiving funds. There are two ways you can receive funds. You can record receipt of funds or payments. You can do it through the window called the multiple transaction window. Go to that in a minute. Or you can do it through the window we call the create voucher window. So let's start with the create voucher window. Go to the create voucher window. What can you do in the create voucher window? Simple. Let me just make it blank first. This is how it should appear. You can decide to convert to tailor it to your use, to format it to what you want it to be by adding your logo. Just touch the picture and say change logo or change picture, right? From the device, go to this device and then you go to download and you take company and you insert, right? That is how to change it, as simple as that. After that, you can bring in the company name again and then you have what you want to do. You can use the same voucher to do both receipt of funds, payment of funds. You can also use it for you can use it for advances and liquidation of advances. Let's see how that works. So once you receive money, we have received money from UNDP, we are assuming, and receiving bank, first bank, and let's assume the account number is this. We are assuming, right? Account number. Then after that, we now bring in the source, which is UNDP. The date we are receiving it, let's assume is today minus 200. Since it's January, let's assume it's the money came in on the 15th of January 2025. Assuming. So here now we put in the head. There is any. There is none, you leave it. I would later show you how to put in the head if you have different projects. You can have to bring in the head here. So we'll get to that. Then the account to credit. The account to credit is going to be the income account, grant income. Then you bring in what you say, cost payment on grant from UNDP, right? Then here you bring in those transactions. So we can go back here in our budget, go to our budget, and then all this back. And paste it in here. How much do we receive from each of them? We already did that in our budget. These are the funds we received. The mix of the 100 back to your voucher and put them in there. So here now you direct them all to the income. Use the income code to post. These are the income codes. These are the income codes. So one of the ways to do this is after you've done this, you now bring in the debiting account. Of course, it's the bank. A bank will be debited. bank, bank, bank. So each of them is bank. So it tells you 100 million have been received, 100 million naira has been received under grant income. So these are the people that will acknowledge and confirm the funds. So after this, you just copy the voucher so that you have a stamp, a voucher stamp that you can print out later. The objective of this is to avoid papers, to have a paperless financial reporting system. So you copy the voucher, it is copied, and then you go, after copying, you just process voucher. So you process voucher each time you do it, but you don't post. You post only at the end of the month. At the end of the month, you can post all your vouchers so that you have ample time to review voucher. And then at the end of the month, you post and then you check your general ledger. All right, so this is how to receive. So let's now take another activity, which is expending funds. Want to expend, want to carry out activity. So we go back here and then we bring in payment voucher, and then we remove all this. So payment voucher, and so let's see what we are going to pay for. Let's go back to here, the question. These are all the things we are going to pay for. We are told here, down a bit. Okay, so here, office expenses. To be for office expenses, let me start from here. Training of women, skill acquisition. Might not use exactly the funds there, the amount there, right? So project have started. Want to train women on skill acquisition. Let me go back there and see. This is a breakdown. Yes. We give startup grants. Startup grants. So for the training of women on skill acquisition, can actually have different things happen, right? To carry out this at 10 million. Remember, we have 100 million, and out of that 100, back to the budget. If you go to the budget, right? Let's go to the budget. You see that we have received funds 20 million for training of people. Let's expend that 20 million. I think that's the best way to approach it. To expend the 20 million, let's assume we use one voucher to do all in the course of time. Let's go back to our voucher here. Sorry, this is the voucher store. Back to our voucher here. So to train women, what are the things we need to do? Let's assume we have facilitators, allowance. Of course, we are going to give them lunch, tea break. Of course, there's going to be all hire. Maybe there will be hiring of projector for the training materials. You understand? So this now, what again? We can put as much as possible that we can do. Let's say we have banners. Big banners. What again can we say we did? Pen and jotters. Pen and jotters. Media coverage. maybe other logistics or logistics, we are assuming. So for this, maybe the facilitator allowance we spent, we are talking about 100. Maybe we spent about 3.5 million. And then for lunch, since the training is going to be for more than 1 day, let's say lunch for 130 participants at 6,000, 3 days. So here we will have 6,000 times 130 times 3, right? The same thing with tea break, 130 participants at, let's say, 4,000 for 3 days. So the same thing, 4,000 times 3 times 130 participants. Let's assume whole hire for 3 days is 150,000 times 3. Let's assume projector is also 50,000 times 3. Of course, we know all hire for this training will be more than that. Let's assume we got the hall for 800,000. Material for 130 participants at 2,000. Banner, we did banner, maybe 5 banners at 10,000 per banner. Then pen and jotters, training materials, pen and jotters, let's have 130 times 1,500 jotter and a pen. Media coverage, maybe 200,000, that will be seen in channels. Then logistics, let's say logistics, we have 150,000, moving things from office and all that. So with this, we are going to be overspent. Are we sure? Let's see what was our budget. In the budget, it was budgeted that they will spend 20 million. So go back. It's not a must that you must spend the 20 million. You still have to do another training. Let's assume this is the first training. So everything about training is in D1, right? You can check it out. Go to your budget. Look at the training on skill acquisition. So we just pick all these at the various training. Share it to all of them. These are the various trainings. So all these funds are going for training. They're going in for training. Okay, perfect. So which account are we going to credit? Of course, it's bank. Bank will bear the bonds. So we are paying various then so we don't need to put bank account because we have a payment schedule. You can put in bracket, you see various payee, see bank mandates. So the bank mandates show the payment schedule to the bank, show the various payee which will be attached to this. So we are paying them 20th, of January 2025, right? The accounts to debit now. Here, facilitator. Do we have facilitator? Don't have. We take them all to training. Check if facilitator allowance. We have training expenses. Take it to training expenses. Launch. Have launch. It's long term. It's no long. Training expenses. Well, you can create them. This one too is training expenses. There's nothing like, let me see if we have all higher. No, it does not exist. All higher. So we still push it to train expenses. Projector, train expenses. Banners, all these are related. Training expenses. So majorly all are training expenses. Okay, so with this we can copy the voucher. After this, look at the people approving. Okay, say copy voucher. After copying voucher, what do we do? Process the voucher, and it's ready for another one. So you've carried out an expense now. Let's do, you can do as many expenses as possible. Let's do an advance. So advance now, go to staff advance, and then we bring in one of the staffs. Let's assume this advance is going to be given to Mr. Martins Ilua. And so come over here, say Martins Ilua. For now, his balance is 0. So he's traveling for what? Orientation. So travel advance for beneficiary orientation. So there will be flights, void return ticket, this has been estimated 300,000. When is he going to fly? 2nd of 2nd 2025. Then we have what again do we have? Hotel addition for 10 nights at 40,000 a night, right? So it's going to be there for 15 nights. That's 16 days. So 40, 1, 2, 3 times 10. ESA for 16 days at maybe 30,000 per day, right? That will be also 16 times 30,000. Then you may have local taxi, days. Car taxi, let's keep it 15,000 times 15 days. Then airport taxi, let's give that as 50,000 two ways. Okay, so this is the fund is going to receive, and this one will be under admin travels. So we assume all this will go under admin travels. So we paste them in here. Alright, so this account that will be credited at this point, of course, is still bank. Bank will bear the brunt, but the person account that will be debited is the Mr. Martins. So we pick up Martins here and paste him all over here. Okay, and it's not saying Mr. Martins is here to refund this amount. It's because in his account now to be used for the project. So we copy this voucher and then we process it. Now quickly let's assume Mr. Martin is back and needs to refund or retire his activities, right? So at the moment, what we need to do for that is we come over here and we bring up Mr. Martins again. And then we go back to his old voucher and then we bring up the activities. It's now retiring, liquidating his advance. So still putting Martins Ilua. He's retiring when he was back on the 30th or let's say 28th of February 2025. So the retirement will carry the same information except for the funds, starting into the same project codes. So this time around, we are going to credit Mr. Martin's account. Mr. Martin's account, and then we are going to debit all these amounts, their various expenses, maybe travels. So let's see whether we have account for travels, travel expenses. So that we will carry and then list them the whole of it. So that's for travels. And so this we are going to post and say this one is being liquidation of travel cost. Let's assume that at the end of the day his flight ticket was actually 250,000 and on local tax he spent 200,000. So therefore, it's going to refund so here we'll select income to be as an income, but it's a refund. Project account. So we see how much is going to refund. He collected 1.6. So let's pick this amount. This is how much he collected. So we'll come over here. Look at what we'll do. Say this is equal to this minus sum of all this. This is how much you'll be refunded. Right? So why? Is there anything we are missing? He's refunding so much. Okay, because the tax day was less. Let's check it out and see why is tax day supposed to be 400. So let's assume the taxi paid everything in the taxi, but it's the airport taxi that we ought to reduce to 20,000. Sorry. Local taxi. Sorry. So local taxi was this. Yes, 20. So this is just accounting, right? Performing an accounting function. So at the end, it should give us 165 refund. So this now we can post. We can copy the voucher to, and then we process. After that, let's assume at the end of the month, we want to get everything right. We've posted everything, expenses for the month, a liquidation has happened, retirement and all that. Can now post. Once we post, we go to here, you see that nothing is showing in here because it has not been taken to the general ledger. Then we go to our general ledger to sort things out. This is our general ledger. In this general ledger, you will see all the transactions you've posted here. Any transaction having Y is an income, right? Any transaction having S is a refund. So refunds are also a type of income. All right, so if we've done this, we check the accounts that are debited. The accounts here are crediting accounts. If you know that any of this account is wrong, you can change it. This is the description of the account, travel expense. So these are the account debited. While these are the account, see the account credited here, these ones. Okay, so after this, if you are okay with everything, you can continue. If you want to change any of the account here, come over to this cell here and change it. Let's assume it's not travel again, you want to be there, you want it to fix asset. You can change it to fixed asset. But if you don't want to change, you leave it. This is how to work on the general ledger. So the general ledger is okay, go back. Now you start seeing the closing balances of each of the accounts posted there. These are their closing balances. These are their closing balances. Now if you go back to creating your voucher and you bring in Mr. Martins again, you see that his balance is 0. He's not owing you. He has retired all. Now you go back now to your cash book. Go to your cash book, analyze cash book. Click the analysis of cash book only once, because after you've worked your cash book, if you click it again, it will make you to go and analyze again. I'll show you a way to go to the cash book without passing through the analysis form. So in your cash book, you want to analyze all this. All you need to do is to classify them into deposit or payment. All these are payment, right? So all these except the refund. This is a deposit by Mr. Martins. All others are payments. These are payments. So, but remember that there's a way this works. This money here, although coming in here, are charged to this account. The one charged to Mr. Martins will not repeat itself. So let's see how this goes here. So this is the actual cost of Mr. Martins. So this should not be repeated. Charged to the cash book. And then this, all these are payments that were made. These are payments. These are deposits. Okay, reconciliation. Are they reconciled? Yes, they are all reconciled to the bank. Assuming they are all reconciled to the bank. So after this, go to our financial report. We need to analyze our financial report. Bring out all those thematic areas. This is set once. Once you set it up, you don't need to do it again. So the thematic areas, here we can bring in goods so that the amounts will feed in. Okay, these are the areas we've spent. Decide to just copy from here. Done any refund to the donor yet. That's why this place is blank. Then these are monthly expense January. Okay, now it shows that these are total expenditure, but of course we spent more. Let's see what our trial balance is saying. That's all. So the trial balance is showing this total spent. We can decide to investigate it. We have received an income of this, or we have spent only this, right? There's an 80 million that is not showing. The 80,000 of balance can be this. Trading expenses, travel expenses has been reported. What have we not reported yet? Grant income, cash has been reported. So what is not reported is a refund. So let's see the cash book. It's a deposit here. So refund project X account. So this refund, you need to know how it has operated, because that's what is showing a difference in our account. Apart from that, everything is feeding in well here. Look at that. And then we have the total money we've spent here. So this is exactly what you have. If you want to do your rec, your bank rec, you have to put in your opening balances. The bank is showing a closing balance of this. So you go to your here and put the opening balances, which we do not know since this is a memorandum account. If everything started newly, we assume opening balance is 0, and then bank balance at the beginning of the year is put at the end of the period, beginning at the end of the month. Let's go back to our financial report and see if we can pick from here, since we do not have an actual bank statement. So it should be this, right? How you know is that when you now bring in your your bank rec should be 0. You start to check bank rec. 0 means that it's balanced. So you can go back there and check it out. Bank rec is balanced now. But then if you look at the expenses are not properly reported here, because in our trial balance, we are having this difference we need to sort out. And the total money we spent is this, right? Is it up to 13? So it's correct. What we need to sort out is this AP, which is a refund. So we need to investigate that by going to the general ledger. But in the interest of time, can print out this report and continue our investigation later. So you say generate report, financial report for February 25, right? So this is how your report looks. The report it prepares for you. Then you can also generate your bank rec Let's see how we can do that. Go back to registration. See bank rec. Go back here. Have your bank, right? The list of transactions. So this our 80,000 deposit is what we want to investigate. Reformed to project account. It's giving us a difference. Iron out and find out what has happened. Now, this is what to remember, that this is not coming out because this is an account debiting and crediting, it's an in and out. You didn't see the other leg because the other leg is not a cash account. It's only the cash leg you saw. All right, so this is our bank rec. Go back now, and basically that's it. You can also generate your, you can do procurement. Time will fail us to go into the procurement side, issue LPOs and print them out, and then you can print out your transaction listing. Take the transaction listing, they will come out. These are the transaction listing in case you want to investigate. Okay. So basically that's it. I believe something useful, something that can help us support our partners, strengthen their financial system, cause them to produce reports that are accurate, reports that can be reliable, reports that are paperless, because with this now, this PDF reports produced by the module, don't need to do any paperwork. All you need to do is to transmit this to various users and the bank rec too. All right. I don't know if you have any questions, contributions, comments. If you have that, just click the chat with agent button and you can chat with us. Thank you and have a wonderful time reviewing the documents. Thank you.